Hey, middle-aged musician here. Sorry I've been out for a couple of weeks. Anyway, thought I'd share a video I did. 8 little amps. There's been a couple videos made by a few people on YouTube about them. The Dark Genes by Kowalski Amps. He's a guy in McAllen, Texas that hand builds these amps. I'm going to talk a little about the amps. I actually have both of his Dark Gene models, the red and the green. Today I'm demonstrating the green. Talk about both, do some gut shots, and a little bit of playing. The green is basically kind of a Marshall-y sound, whereas the red is a little bit more hot rodded American sound. I'm just doing the green today. I'm not doing a comparison. Going straight into the amp, just playing this Les Paul tribute, and going, like I said, straight into the amp. It's a 1/2 watt amp, and into a 212 cabinet, open back, loaded with vintage 30s, mic'd with a 8K Audio-Technica mic, and kind of back away from the speakers a little bit to get more of the room sound. I do have a new addition, which is a little decibel meter. This thing gets reasonably loud, not really annoy your neighbors loud unless you live in an apartment. But it probably wouldn't keep up with the drummer without being mic'd, but it gets loud enough to be fun. So anyway, hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll talk to you guys later. Okay, quick visual comparison of the outside. You can tell this is the red LED. This is the green LED. That's the only way to really distinguish them, although on the back panel there might be a red versus green paint on the back. I'm not sure. My red is a fairly early unit. My green's a newer one. But as you can tell, the layout looks identical. You have this sensitivity on both of them. Single input, gain, a top and mid kind of two-way switch, treble, bass, gain 2. So there's gain 1, gain 2, on off in the LED. Top is identical. Screw layout, everything. The back is basically identical. Like I said, this is the green. Note here, this says 125. This says preamp. This says speaker. This one is the red. It just says low and full here. So if you look here on the green's newer, so I'm not sure if this is an update in the design. A little bit more about the speaker load. Well, no, I guess it has both of that. But here we have preamp. So what's that say? I have to flip it around. Red 10K, green 1 meg. Okay, so difference between the two amps. Other than that, visually identical on the outside. Okay. So now we're looking at the belly of the beast here. And once again, remind everybody, this is a USA-made, hand-wired, point-to-point boutique amplifier for less than $500. And the component quality is pretty good. The layout's good. I'll point out some things for those that aren't familiar with what wiring looks like, should or shouldn't look like. But first thing I'll point out, this is the back panel, right? Oops. And it's got the number, signature, build date. This one was built, this is 4th of July, baby. How about that? That's pretty cool. I didn't realize that until just now. So power comes in, power transformer. You're going to have some rectification. It's going to be down there. There's a little bit of a tag board down there. Some capacitors for smoothing and that. You've got your tube sockets here. There's 3 of them. Your output transformer. You've got your tone stack up here. So very switching all that. Your inputs in that. Not a ton of components, but the components we have are pretty good. These guys are good. You see your mix of different types of capacitors, these different resistors at different ratings. This is essentially, for the most part, other than some little tag board down there, what they call dead bug style, because it's like a bug with his legs sticking up in the air. You go point to point. Other ways you'll see a hand-wired amp are turret board construction, eyelet board. I usually build with eyelet board when I build something. But like, just to point out a couple things, we've got, let me see if I saw some component leads that had been, the wire still has its sleeves on it. By the way, this is fully discharged, so don't go sticking your hands in a tube amp if you don't know what you're doing. There's some leads sticking around here and there. They're not all sleeved, but that's fine. This is a good, pretty good job putting everything together. You might look at, 1 or 2 things with lead dress, like where this comes together. Might be better to have put some sleeve on that. But this is, again, unbelievable at this price point. You could even get something remotely like this. I've got some older amplifiers. I've got a 1964 Harmony H306A, and assembled pretty much very similar way. This is the way amps used to be built back in, the glory days. Putting things on a board with eyelet or turret it is more expensive, and it gives you more consistent results. But somebody, Doug Kowalski, I guess, sat there and soldered every one of these things. So, it has his signature. So that's pretty cool. It really makes you feel confident in what's inside. This isn't some, he didn't buy some mass market board and slap his name on it. This is, it's a pretty unique thing in today's day and age. So I think that's pretty cool. Well, anyway, I thought I'd show you some gut shots there. Also, I should also point out, if you ever watch Psionic Audio, he'll point a lot of these things out, like, where the quality of components and that. So he's got lock washers with these Allen head screws. Not those, but pull this guy over here. Show you this one. See, like that. So these are pretty secure. That's one of the things that you'll notice about some of the Fenders and stuff like that. I'm not knocking those. I've had Fender amps. I have a Fender amp, great amps, but a lot of mass manufacturers just don't do lock washers or nuts with a lock washer, and so over time they'll vibrate loose. So even though this is like a 1 watt, half watt amp, whatever, there's a lot of attention paid to the quality. In some of these parts, I don't know, the provenance of like these transformers. You can feel a little bit sticky, so the labels have been peeled off. Whatever. Transformers have a lot to do with it, but you can spend more on an output transformer than you spend on this amp, and this thing sounds really good. So anyway, that's all I want to say. Thanks.